3 to 5 knots, 240 on the wind. Gonna do a little starting video and a lot of downwind video. It's gonna be kind of painful because it's gonna be a light weekend. Full rig fleet going off. They start with the committee boat at the leeward end of the line. Okay, not much to see there. Race 1, radial start. Again, we're gonna just try to video downwind mostly for the weekend, but we will look at starts and try to see how much sag there is. And again, the committee boat end is to the left, leeward end.
Oasis 5, this is Oasis 6, over.
Well, lots to see there, general recall. Race 1, U flag start. Good fleet. Race 1, first run. No waves to speak of.
چه خبر داریم برمیگردیم کجایی؟ اینا بیا پشت بگم دور بزن Oasis 6 کدومیه چی؟ دم اون کشتی چراغ داری کدومی؟ چه؟ دور زدم کجا بیام الان؟ دور زدم من همون تای کشتی اونجا که فیلم گرفتی
Looks like a righty at the end here, so a lot of good sailors here, all on starboard by the lee. That guy looks the best right there. Super loose Cunningham, super powered up there. The outhaul ease, the leach a little bit soft. And then if he thinks he's going to get lifted, wind shift from me, he would go a tiny bit higher than that at times.
Danny!
That looks really good. First leeward mark, first race. So not much in it. Obviously Cunningham completely off. Outhaul biggies. The boom's at 90. Maybe a little bit more than that in the light spots.
You catch that conversation? For the multi-hulls, we're going to do a Charlie. 10-4, we're moving
not past 90 anytime you have breeze.
Oh, we're going right. 10-4, so that's for the multi-hulls that are coming down the course? Sure. I think they're still going to weather, but yes. 10-4. So yeah, so it's going to be a Charlie green board.
guys on this side just have so much more wind than on the outside there. Race 1 definitely had a lot of wind over here on this side for a lot of different, at several different times.
Oasis 5 over. Real life coming back.
Race 2, again, not a lot to see downwind.
I think you're a little too far out for us right now, dude. We gotta be back in. Are you after the Coast Guard or north?
It's about the same wind strength.
Looks like we're just gonna have to head on it. Don't leave the fish to find fish. Had a big fight to a leader. Just a rod up. What?
Race 2, last run. Again, there's not a lot to see. Your real goals downwind are to make sure you don't get any streaks in the wind that you miss. You want to definitely have moments where you're by the lead quite substantially, especially if you see pressure to leeward and you get it going. Center boards are pretty low because then the boat turns easier. You just lean the boat one way or the other and the boat turns. And when you go by the lee, you don't want the board too high. Then as you go dead downwind for a few moments, the board's a little higher. Yeah, board down for a jibe. Leaders of race 2 on Saturday, and they're kind of in reach mode right now because they're off to the left side of the mark, so they're making the marks easily here, and so they're reaching a little bit extra. This guy moved into the lead. They're pretty similar in technique. again, you're looking at other boats behind you and trying to make sure you don't miss any streaks. These guys look plenty windy to me right here. So if I'm in the middle here, I'm not worried about sailing a touch too high right now. That guy looks lighter to me over there if I was in the middle here. So that's one thing you're looking at from behind. These guys all look pretty similar. And that's what this guy's doing. He's steering towards me a little bit. ABYC coming around in 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. This end is further upwind. Look at 218, 419. If we were going to start a race on those two, look at the perpendicular angle, and they're going straight up through that. So definitely this end is further upwind. I mean, they're so close together. Not if they were further apart, this would have been a big loss to go to the other one. You just look at this as a starting line, and you can see that people are going. It would be obvious that we would start at this left one here. If it were a starting line.
Now is the time to...
Race 3, Saturday.
We did. We found a window about 10-15 minutes ago.
Awesome,
Mr.
thank you so much.
Cloud.
You're welcome. We all were seeing
U flag
still down here.
just came down.
Thank you for the update.
See how everybody's getting their bang adjustments done. Once you know that you've got a good lane, you get the bang on. Race 3, first run. Winds up to 12 knots, 11. So that means it's going to be different.
I'm okay, it's already shady. Yeah, extra ibuprofen, please.
So it's a lot of time by the lee right now. The waves still aren't very big. And when you see a wave to windward of you, then you would leave the main out, let the main pull your bow, flatten the boat, let the main pull your bow up into the wind. You know, get on those waves and then by the lee again.
Hey, Mickey.
And then obviously pumping more now because there's so much more power in the wind. You're pumping and allowed to pump because you're actually catching waves. This guy's going quite a bit higher here compared to the other guy. I think the other guy is, maybe he looks like he's gaining more than he is, but he looks good to me. Just staying by the lee quite a bit. There you go, you catch a wave, get by the lees, a little lean forward. So this is all pretty easy. So there's Harrison. See, the other guy he'll heel the boat to windward, he'll let it carve down longer. Yep. Morgan here is not changing his move angle very much at all. that guy rounded first. This guy rounded right next to him, sailing a much more broad reach angle, way more. You're just steering the boat with the center of the sail. So every time he wants to go down, he brings the center of the sail to windward, carves down. When he wants to head up, he flattens the boat a little and steers a little. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out ahead. They were right next to each other. That guy was way by the lead. This guy was more of a broad reach and then by the lead at times. Considering the marks that are right here, right now, I think these guys are pretty darn even. This guy might be ahead. The guy on the other side can't see the back side of this guy's mainsail, so this guy's ahead. I'm going to call it right now. If you can see the back side of somebody's mainsail, you're probably ahead of them. So ultimately what those, 8 to 12 knots starting to surf conditions is you do start to range between by the lee and a broad reach. And a dead run a little bit more. I think the leader went a little too hard by the lee, a little too long. But, they're pretty much even. Wow, these gates are like way too close together. It's hilarious. Working the boat hard as you get down into the lower gate. Because you're in bad air.
Copy that. Entry about 10 minutes.
Copy, thank you.
Bang, loose Cunningham, loose outhaul, and he kind of pulls the boom in a little. Doesn't play the main very much at all. I don't think you have to go. All you have to do is put the center of the sail way out to the other side. I don't know if you have to heel to the point of the boom touching the water. To head the boat up, you just got to heel to a flat point. Maybe a little bit to leeward.
Race ready. Thank you so much.
Last race, radials coming around the windward line. It's a little bit lighter wind now. The wind dropped 2 knots. So that just means you just got to keep your eyes out for any boats going fast around you so you're not going away from them. These guys are diving low right away by the lead. Yeah, it's windy enough where you can stay by the lead quite all ways without having to do too much.
This is ABYC base.
Again, I think the boat that doesn't fight for going really hard low is the better angle overall. This guy's going more by the lead with a more twist in the main.
Joe car.
I think he's going to come out very close at the mark. Doesn't look as good as it looks right now. You can't see the back of that guy's mainsail, so that guy's ahead of you. He can see the back of your mainsail.
Joe car.
So I think it's a loss for the near boat. Day 2, and you would be doing this.
Base committee, we're seeing 185, 190.
At the very least.
Okay, let's just put everything on hold for a couple minutes and see what it looks like in 4 or 5 minutes.
Roger.
This is a freak puff coming in here. This is like a 90-degree shift since. Anyway, cut. Just like we talked about this morning, today was going to be a very unstable day. Wind actually was at 130, which is deep southeast. Then it's gone to 150. Now it's gone to about almost 180. So it's almost straight south right now. And then during this race, I bet you see that the weather mark should be out through there. So I bet you we'll see another mark getting set here in a while. What they do is they set a separate yellow mark to replace the orange mark. A separate orange one to replace the yellow. This is the full rigs. It was about 18 to 23 knots, and now it's about 14 to 18, 19, 15 to 20. You press a little and hike, and then when you see flat spots, you let the boat carry up. Today I'm trying to videotape the very best sailors out here first race on Sunday radial. U flag up right away. So again, the U flag means that you get DSQ if this start happens. If this start is a general recall or a postponement, then you're okay if you're over in the last minute. If you break, if you are between the windward mark and the two ends of the starting line. So that boat right there, he's outside, so he's okay. He's outside of the starting line. My guess is the wind is going to go a little right, so I would be setting up on that end. That end's a little bit favored as well. I'd be 6 boat lengths from that end. And in about 15 seconds, I'd really start scrambling to get as high as I can. Right now, I'd be kind of hanging with my boom out. And then really start closing off the hole to windward as soon as I can now. Still hanging back a tiny bit from the boats to windward, just I get bow to bow at about 10 seconds. No sail numbers, God. Okay. I thought he was going to try to port tack from the middle. Harrison right here, 182060. No, that's not Harrison, I don't think. Or it is. That ship is going to affect this race. So his boom is going straight out. That's beautiful. Right before chop hits, you're just trying to get a little more power. Flat spots, you're letting the boat just slightly gain height. Your real goal is to sail the BMG speed. You know, right now it's probably close to 5 knots. You're just trying to stay as close to that max BMG speed as you can and just let grind people down. Okay, here's water right here. Second, Nicholas is second there. Cunningham and Bank smoke, outhaul slightly east from there, so the main has a little shake at the bottom. Not much. Devin in second here. Those radials mixed in with there, that's why it looks like he might not be in second. Yeah, I think it's good. He's got a little mass fence, he's got a little bit of vang on probably. That's probably about the right amount. If it gets lighter than this, maybe going off on that a little. Definitely lighter now. limit the leaning of the mast as best you can. There's as much power in the hiking strap as you can put. During this race, the wind went from about, it started at about 15, it had been more than that. Now it's down to like 11, 12. Right, look at the Cal 20s up there. Look at the Cal 20s, it looks like left shift right now for them. Wind's gone, is staying south. I thought that during this race we were going to see 190 on the wind instead of 180, 200 on the wind, but it had to have it. Man, he's a long way ahead. Race 1 on Sunday, race 5 for the regatta. So yeah, on a crazy day like today, all you're doing now is looking upwind and making sure you don't miss something. Those flags are whipping, so you're not got a lot of concern, but you're looking at boats behind and who's going fast. Oscar looks really good right here. Looks like he's gone forward on Ava a little. Again, now downwind, you're looking at who can, if you can see the back side of the mainsail of a boat, then you're ahead of it. For instance, I'm ahead of this guy right here. I can see the back of his main.
I got full rigs coming around here, and I'm
I cannot see the back of his main. I can see the back of their main. So
Okay, let me check for what's the
that's how you tell how you're doing. Okay, the marks are right there. He's going way by the lee. The wave angle's probably making him fast to go way by the lee.
weather boat situation.
Go for weather boat.
So for me, 150 is right off that tanker. I don't think we want to go that far to the right.
Copy that. So what are you thinking? What's the difference? 140?
Yeah, I think that's a good number. Thank you so much.
When he
Copy
wants to
that.
head
Once
up, he
it's,
just makes the boat flat. Doesn't rock way to leeward.
Appreciate it.
When he wants to go down, then he does the lean out to windward.
Patience. This is gate boat.
Go ahead, gate boat. This is patient.
Do you want us to follow suit or just stay where we are?
Yeah, no, if you have a window where you can reset that to 140, that'd be great.
Copy.
At least has gained on this leg. Definitely hasn't lost, so it looks like it's going pretty well there. He's really not trying to dive right now. Again, it's hard for me to tell with what wing angle, but he's not trying to dive by the lee a lot. He's kind of looking for opportunities to get up on a reach and catch waves and then go by the lee. Okay, so we got first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Oscar's done well.
Patience, line up.
Go ahead, line up.
Trust you'll let us know if the starting line isn't flat enough for you.
Okay, we'll look at it in just as soon as the weather comes back.
Line up, standing by. Let's wait on that for a moment. Line up, standing by.
Wow. Job officer here. I think this one's further upwind by a little bit. Looking at their exit angle, they're kind of parallel to the gates. So I think this one's a little further upwind actually. Oscar gets mounted 1, 2, 3, 6. Morgan 7. Ava 8. Great job. Yeah. Coming into the finish, the leaders of race 1 on Sunday. Blue flag is further downwind. If we were going to start right now, we would start at the boat end. So definitely finish line is finish at the flag. That's the downwind end. Now it's enough of a lefty that my angle might be lying to me on that a little bit, but it's a little bit of a lefty, so that might mean that the line is more square, and you have to be ready to tack. You want to finish at an end.
Bearing to you guys right now, and that's the new position. We're about.
Yeah, look at that guy's angle over there. Actually, I think Harrison might be able to tack here and finish at the boat.
Either go to the other side or in a little bit. What's your thoughts?
No, I think he's got
Let's just try
that.
to center it between the island and the tanker, and we'll call it good.
Yeah, so now he'll close the door. He'll just press. Press. He made a mistake on that. He should have pressed and closed that door a little sooner. He should have been reaching in like 15 seconds. Anyway,
Yeah,
great job.
Thank you. Hey, lines up, standing by.
Great job by Ava. For the race, you get parallel to the line. Mark right there. 60. Oops. Parallel. Let's say mark right there. 60. Head to wind would then need to be 150 to be a square line. There's no way the wind's at 150. It's got to be at least 140. Head to wind is 120, 130. Head to wind right there, 130. So you had pin favored here.
Just get a dollar anchor, and then we're going to pull up on the side of the boat.
I get confused with the mini boat being the lured in. I wouldn't say it's 10 degrees favored, but it's a hard call. It's just oscillating down here. Okay, nice start. Definitely. There's Harrison down at the pin. Beginning of that cloud we had yesterday, and I think it's kind of too late in the day to see any sort of sea breeze come in here. So, and the big cloud yesterday was over there more, a little bit further right. So fascinating weather today. under the big ship. Losing trees to the fourth place boat. So those guys over there, these guys have to go under the ship. Okay, I'm holding trees on the fifth place boat. Now I'm losing trees. Right here. Those guys have overstood. Harrison there in about fifth. If I was him, I would go ahead and hit just underneath the left lay line. In a south day, I'd probably just keep going out there, try to find nice speed and a nice flat spot, and then just rip it in from there. So you really only have one boat that's going to be on starboard that's going to be getting you. And that's probably awesome. Race 2 on Sunday, first windward mark. Okay, my plan didn't really work. Oh. Race 2 on Sunday, second long beat. I think she's leading this race. Race 2 on Sunday, and I'm going to try to get some 4.7 sailing. I don't know who this is, but the wind is built again to, we're probably at 11, and the waves have gotten bigger, so that's kind of cool. Even in the 4.7 surfing along here. The wind has gone way left, so this is like a broad reach here. So it's kind of fun when you're in the lead and all you have to do is go straight. No jives or anything. Oh, sorry. So confusing, but we do have the 4.7s that went around the short yellow buoy and the radials in full rigs went around the orange. Here's Devon right here. Again, it's pretty much a one straight starboard to the gates. It's in fifth in the 4.7. Yeah, I think the heading up part is working right when you, after you carve down a little ways, then you dump the main kind of quickly. So you do that, you trim, catch the wave, and then as you get ready to go by the lead, turn down and then dump the main out. So it's as far out as it can go right as you're going through a dead run.
Copy that. We're watching them. We're gonna wander over there.
But other than that, you can see Cal 20 just coming up straight upwind, like overstanding the finish line. So you can tell it's all left. So again, it's kind of like a broad reach dead run to the gates. That's okay. It's kind of fun because you can catch some waves. Keeps the board pretty darn low. He doesn't change the heel that much. So this main's not going out. He's just inside 90 most of the time. There he goes. He popped it out right there. Yeah, and he's trimming in before he heads up. Yeah, that guy is good. As the boat slows down, he's leaning forward. I know these videos are long and kind of boring, but I'm always trying to video leaders of fleets and just letting you watch. Try to hold the camera steady. So it's a little bit hard for me to get close to the racing because I have this coach boat with this big canopy over the top. So I put off a pretty big wind shadow, but again, I gotta do the math on the starting line. So I'm gonna try to do this again and see if I can be accurate. I'm gonna guess that the starting line is at 100 degrees. Not quite. Okay, so here we go. Come around here, mark right. Now parallel to the line, and it's, let's say it's 50. So it's 50 degrees. Square line would be 140. I'm going to go head to wind. If it's not 140, one end is favored. Okay, ready, mark right. There, it's 130, 125. Pin end's favored by 10. 145 would be square. The line is at 130, so that's 15. I'm sorry. 140 would be square. We got 130. It's 10 degrees to the pin. So you would want to start tucked underneath somebody on this left day here. Tucked underneath somebody a third of the way up from the boat. You don't need to start right at the boat. And then what you would do is go up here and make sure you don't get too hard left under the island. Looks like Devin's doing fine there. He's tacking right there. And you got to be careful of going further left than that. Last race he did it a few times and did very well. He ended up getting second last race because he flipped at some point. But he's in a perfect spot. Any further left and you start to risk getting into the lee of the island a little bit. See, the U flag was up. It's down. I don't know if you can see it on there. They had to use the U flag all day today because yesterday was a general recall every single time they did it. The guy that's winning the regatta started a little closer than 1/3 of the way down the line. These boats look fine right now because of our angle, but they're definitely behind. Maybe it wasn't 10 degrees favored, but definitely probably at least 6 out. And the wind is building. This is going to be just a great race. That's Harrison with the 6-0 there. Video of the 4.7 rigs, less than a minute to go for their last race in the regatta. It's good to have the 4.7 rigs because, you know, these kids will get a chance to go to like Europe and race them and where the fleets are just monstrous. You know, 250 boats total at a 4.7 rig regatta over there or something. It's just so amazing. So it's good to get out here and learn how to sail them under 7 knots. They are so hard to sail, especially once it's choppy. But once they get like 8 knots, man, they just, all of a sudden, they start to go. So it wasn't pinned by very much.
Permission granted. Thank you so much.
Tons of video. Hard to watch video because I'm pretty far away. We're trying to build our confidence, work on all of this stuff, experiment a lot. Last race. And it's really nice when the wind is picked up. And so you're able to get a lot more turns in to avoid running into the wave in front of you.